another huge win for the Habs last night. They defeat the Calgary Flames 4-2, and that puts their record to 5-0-2 on the season, still unbeaten in regulation. And our next game is again this Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, 8:30 Atlantic time, the Calgary Flames. And expect the rough stuff. We saw some of it tonight. Some good hits, some good scrums, and of course, Matthew Tkachuk taking a beating in our crease. I love that Ben Chiarot took that opportunity to send a message to a guy like Matthew Tkachuk and the Calgary Flames and the rest of the division to stay the hell out of our crease and away from Carey Price. And Matthew Tkachuk ate some licks there last night. And you know what? I love seeing that rough stuff out there. Before that fight happened, Matthew Tkachuk was trying to mix it up. Romanov tried to hit a few different guys, but he tried to put a hit on Tkachuk, and Tkachuk with kind of the reverse hit, and it kind of rode up high on Romanov there. I don't mind that at all. I love seeing the emotion and the passion in the game. And, you know, if Romanov's going to go in for a hit, you know, you got to be ready for it. This is the NHL, so love to see that, and I love to see Matthew Tkachuk getting it there from Chiarot in the crease, and then to see Kotkaniemi smile on the bench. Everyone loves seeing this guy just get beat up there. It's great to see. I love that the Habs, this is a very well-oiled machine there. I said it in my last video, but I'm having a hard time finding things to complain about when it comes to this team. I mean, the penalty kill's not perfect. The power play's not perfect. They're both sitting at around league average. But otherwise, this team is playing very, very well. And I mean, they're scoring on the penalty kill, so I mean, I'll take that. If we're gonna have a league average penalty kill, but also put up a bunch of offense on it as well, you know, 5 goals now on the penalty kill this season. That's unheard of. And the power play, you know what? The first one they had last night, it started kind of, you know, slow. They were having trouble getting the entry, but once they got in, the first play they made, they scored. That was the first goal of the game. Corey Perry with that slick veteran play, not panicking in front of the net. He gathers the puck, just goes for a no-look backhand pass. He's done that more than once in the NHL here. That's a patented Corey Perry move. He does it here. Brendan Gallagher streaking in, and he scores the goal. Nice to see that happen. That's point per game, Corey Perry now for the Montreal Canadiens. Still surreal seeing a guy like him in a Habs jersey. And Kotkaniemi picks up an assist on this goal as well, the guy who passed it off to Corey Perry. Like I mentioned in the last video, I compare Kotkaniemi to a Getzlaf-style player, and Corey Perry spent most of his prime with Ryan Getzlaf. I'm expecting this Corey Perry Kotkaniemi connection to become quite strong here. So that's another connection there. Both of them getting up on the board on that goal. Then the second goal, we get another power play goal from this time Shea Weber, and it's lined up by Jeff Petrie there. And Drouin also gets an assist on this one. I love seeing Drouin get up on the board. He is playing fantastic this season. So Petrie slides it over to Weber, who fires it. It was going to go wide, but it hits Valimaki's stick. You know, rough set of sequences here for that guy. He took the first penalty for the Calgary Flames. Then he deflects the second one into the net. So rough start to the game for Valimaki there. But nice goal for Shea Weber. That adds another point for him onto the season, and he's starting great as well. All these Habs players just rolling. We go into the second period. Again, a newcomer. Once again, Josh Anderson gets on the board, and this started with Montreal showing off that transition game. A very quick up, just a touch pass from Jonathan Drouin up to Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Kotkaniemi shoots the puck, and it results in a nice rebound. It was up in the air, but Josh Anderson, yet another baseball-style batted puck into the net for him, his 4th of the season. So these newcomers, all of Montreal's newcomers are looking really, really strong. And that leads me to Tyler Toffoli with the 4th goal, the shorthanded goal. Somehow he gets this in. Suzuki with a nice flip pass over a couple players. And Toffoli streaks in, but he's bumbling the puck and fumbling it, coming in. Somehow manages to squeak a 5-hole on Riddick. That's one that David Riddick has to have. Really kind of bit of weak goaltending there, if I'm being honest, from David Riddick. So then that makes it 4-2. Late in the third, we get a clunker from, of course, none other than Milan Lucic. Deflects off him or deflects off something and bounces top corner somehow. Ruins the shutout for Carey Price. Shutouts are not allowed for the Montreal Canadiens, apparently. We saw it. We've seen it through the whole career of Carey Price. Late goals coming in. And Jake Allen happened to him early in the season, and it was no different last night for Carey Price. So just a fluky goal, and they challenge it on the offside. That goal probably would have been called back last season. That's one of the first instances that I've actually seen of the new plane rule kind of come into effect. His skate was off the ice and over the line, but the plane goes up, you know, his skate is still over the line in the air there. So that's onside. It's a good goal, unfortunately. We get the penalty, and then they score another one on the power play. And that's the Calgary Flames. It was Rasmus Andersson, really good defender for the Calgary Flames. And you know what? That's the last thing we needed to do, was to get them, kind of get some momentum going on their side. It was Goudreau who picked up the assist on that one, and he has been fantastic for the Flames this season, almost carrying them in a way offensively. He's flying out there. He almost scored in the first period to make it 2-1, hitting it off the crossbar. Could have been a different game from that point for the Calgary Flames. So expect this game on Saturday to be hard fought. The Flames are, now after losing a few games here now in a row, yeah, they're gonna be coming for blood, and it's gonna be a tough game. I think it's gonna be a much tighter game. And don't forget, we're gonna be facing a much tougher test in the Calgary Flames net on Saturday night in Jacob Markstrom, one of the better goalies in the league last year. So that's gonna be tough. I think the Calgary Flames are going to become a very serious rival for the Habs this season. It's strange because normally the Flames are a team that I kind of enjoy to watch, and I'm not necessarily a fan, but I like the Canadian teams. I like to watch for them. I kind of root for them in the back of the building there. But yeah, I think this rivalry is going to develop into something really intense. Calgary has some serious toughness between Tkachuk and Bennett and Lucic, and there's going to be a lot of dramatic stuff going on here. We've not seen the last of Matthew Tkachuk and his antics. He's not going to give up, even though Ben Chirot crushed him last night. So look for this rivalry to develop into something really strong. So some stats on the night: 25 to 21 shots for the Calgary Flames, and then in the face-off dot, it's 50s. Love to see that we were able to keep up with the Calgary Flames last night, 50% each. And they have some guys who can win some draws between Monahan and Lindholm and Sam Bennett. So good to see Suzuki and Kotkaniemi coming around in that area of their game. We were 2 for 3 on the power play last night. That puts our power play to 26% on the season, sitting around league average, like I said. And the PK, we were 3 for 4, good penalty kill last night. That puts us to 78.5% on the season. And Calgary out-hit us last night, but it was because we were possessing the puck for the most part all night. Montreal, until the last 5 minutes of the game, pretty much dominated and showed how in every area they're just strong. Like, I love how this team's built. Every line has defensive responsibility, has skill, and has power. If you think about it, every single one of our lines has that. And then we have really strong D pairs as well. Not just defensively, but physically. They're really wearing down their opponents out there. And then we also have guys on the D that are moving the puck fast, like Petrie, Romanov, even Chirot's get moving it up there really fast. And Weber has been really strong with his first passes. And Carey Price not tested a whole lot last night, but he was there when we needed him. And yeah, I just absolutely love how this team's built. Very balanced, very skilled, very defensively responsible. They're gelling and they stick up for each other. The mood in the room seems really good, and I could not be happier for how this season has gone so far. The one thing though is I will say we got to temper our expectations a little bit, where we've been unable to kind of measure ourselves against some of the other best teams in the league. We've only played the Leafs once. They're clearly one of the other better teams in this North Division, but also league-wide, we haven't been able to see what we're capable of against the Colorados, the Vegases, the Bruins, the St. Louis, the Pittsburgh, the Washington. So we got to temper our expectations a little bit, but you know what? If we end up having to face them, that means we made it to the Eastern Conference Final, or the semifinals of the playoffs. So we'll have to see what happens. That would be when the real test comes, but to get there first, we do have to get through this North Division. And we just haven't faced the Winnipeg Jets yet, and they have also shown that they could be one of the stronger teams in this division. They had a big win the other night, and Nikolai Ehlers, former Halifax Moosehead, put up a ton of points, a goal and 3 assists. So watch out for them. And down the middle now with Pierre-Luc Dubois, they could be very strong. You think about now, they've got Scheifele, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Stastny, Adam Lowry, Nate Thompson down there on the fourth line. Down the middle, they're very strong. They got the wingers and Ehlers and Wheeler and Connor. And their defense, you know what? It may not be the deepest, but they seem to get the job done. And you know what they have back there in goaltending and Hellebuck. So it's still a really tough division. We got a big game against the Calgary Flames, and then it'll be interesting to see. Eventually, we don't play them for a while, but the Winnipeg Jets here down the line in about a month or so. Now, speaking of the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, love it. I think it could work out for both teams. Pierre-Luc Dubois is a special player. If he wants to be in Winnipeg where his dad is, this could really work out for them. He's got a couple years on his contract until he's an RFA, so he has a lot to prove here, especially after what happened and how he left Columbus. So that's going to be strong, and I think down the middle, they're one of the best teams now in the North Division. As for Columbus, they get Patrik Laine. He's an elite level goal scorer who's likely going to score 50 in a season multiple times. So they get a very strong elite level player, and down the middle they're going to be a little weak. However, I think offensively, Max Domi, former Canadian, and Patrik Laine could be absolutely fire. Max Domi, typically a pass-first type of guy, and he'll be looking to feed Laine, who we know can shoot, so that could be dynamic, but Domi as well also has a shot on him. And he showed that off last night. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he absolutely wired one, sniped one. I think it was on the power play last night for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So you know what? I love to see and I want to see Max Domi succeed in Columbus. I love what we got in the return with Josh Anderson coming to Montreal. Perfect player, fits the need that we desperately have needed for so many years. But Max Domi, love the guy. He bled our colors. He had a great season, led us some points a couple years ago. I no doubt want to see him succeed in Columbus. So good to see him get that nasty snipe off last night, bar down and in. And you know what? Around the league, the Leafs picked up 2 big wins against the Calgary Flames recently here. They also won last night against the Edmonton Oilers, so they're on a roll. The Montreal and the Leafs are just hand in hand, just trading wins back and forth, climbing the standings here. I got to be honest, I'm impressed with the ads by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wayne Simmons is looking good for them. TJ Brody, defensively, has really solidified their decor, and Justin Holl is kind of coming into his own here and truly becoming a top 4 defender. So, and they're getting the goaltending. Freddie Anderson is fantastic, an elite level goaltender, one of the best in the league, and they're getting that from him right now after a somewhat of a slow start. So the Leafs are absolutely flying. We have some games against them in a couple weeks here, so those are going to be some very important games coming up against that Toronto Maple Leafs team, who, like us, are also on fire right now. So now some Habs player stats. Tyler Toffoli, 9 points in 6 games. Jonathan Drouin, he's sitting at 8 points in 6 games. Love seeing Jonathan Drouin produce here. Not all guys are elite level and putting up crazy offensive numbers in their early 20s. Jonathan Drouin may have just been one of these guys that needed to take some time to get comfortable in the NHL. You know, he dealt with a big trade to the Habs, lots of pressure. Didn't really have the greatest line mates so far, but now with Suzuki as his center, Anderson a power forward as his winger, just like he had McKinnon and big power forward Stephen Fournier and Jr., I think this is a perfect line for Jonathan Drouin, and I love seeing him getting up on the board here. He's playing fantastic. Suzuki extends that point streak. He's now at 7 points in 6 games. Brendan Gallagher, he's sitting at 5 points with 3 goals. Jeff Petrie, he's got 8 points in 6 games. Shea Weber, 5 points. And then Thomas Tatar didn't even get up on the board last night. He's sitting at 6 points in 6 games. Just, we're getting offensive contribution from every single line. You'll love to see that. Quick note before I end this one off here. A loyal viewer, Dan, messaged me before the season started and asked me to get involved in a charity fund for Parkinson's research. Absolutely, I agreed to do that. So he had the idea, and he put out a poll, and whoever finished first in the poll, the player, him and his dad would put in 10 each for each goal they scored. So 20 total for each goal, and Brendan Gallagher won the poll. And I said, you know what? I'll take who won second in the poll and donate 10 myself as well. So they got Gallagher, I got Josh Anderson. Guess what? Both of those guys scored last night. So 20 for Gallagher between Dan and his father putting in money, and then 10 for myself and Josh Anderson. I just want to call this out because today, January 29th, would have been my papa's 89th birthday. And he died of Parkinson's complications in 1998. So that's why this means a lot to me, and I'm very, very happy and honored that Dan would reach out to me and ask me to participate in this with him. Dan's doing this on behalf of his grandmother. So all the best to Dan and his father. And thank you for doing this. Thank you for including me on this. And let's keep an eye on this all season between the goals that Brendan Gallagher and Josh Anderson scores. So anyway, happy birthday, Papa. I love you. I miss you. And I'm sure he'd be absolutely pleased with the way the Habs are playing to start this season. I'll see you guys Saturday after the next one. Let me know what you thought about this game down in the comments. What was your favorite part? What excited you? What are you looking forward to in the next one? And of course, you can hit the subscribe and the bell for notifications if you like these videos. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go! Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But this is a little secret. You can also email me, SCOTIANCANADIEN@gmail.com. Take a video of yourself celebrating a Habs goal, a Habs win, or send me a picture or a video of your man cave. I'll pick one per reaction video I do to put at the end here in this slot. So SCOTIANCANADIEN@gmail.com. I want to see you celebrating a win or a goal with your family, your friends, yourself, whatever. Or show me your man cave, and I'll feature it here in one of my videos. Cheers, guys. Go Habs, go.